it's on again. Better get ready to climb back on the limb. Come on, man, shake the dust off the moon. Don't yawn and prolong what you got to do. And if you've been going through any negative phase, well, here's your opportunity for turning the page. Today's a new chapter. Right to fly and make it end with the wind. Give it all you got. But first you gotta rise, look alert and alive. Get the dirt from your eyes and work for the prize. Get it done, cause we ain't even trying to lose. Let's go, man, don't hit snooze. It's time to wake up. 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 Tick tock, tick, come on. Tick tock, tick, let's go. Tick tock, tick, come on. Tick tock, tick. You can't wait around for someone to prove. Now is the moment to begin your renewal, man. Feel alive with the vibe, energize of the boat, so you're coming by the white in your eyes. Hey, another day might waste away. Come on, let's get it going, don't make delays. So ring me along and lift your arm high. Like Georgia, we can get a piece of the pie. Begin it with the step, you'll get in it in a sec. You'll be winning like you never did it when you overslept. So right this minute, get right with it. What time is it? It's time to wake up.
Good morning, Birmingham. This is a regular meeting of the Birmingham City Council. Today is Tuesday, April 9th, 2024. This morning, our invocation will be delivered by Losey Brown, and our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilor Hunter Williams. If you're willing and able, please stand.
Good morning, President Pro Tem, Birmingham City Council. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come this morning as humble as we know how, thanking you for another day's journey. We pray your blessings upon this governing body. We pray that you bless all three phases of our Birmingham City government. May they carry out the work that is set forth before them in a humble fashion. May they cover the areas that speak to the needs of the people. Here, Father, we need you every day. We ask that you cover us in your grace and mercy as we deliberate the issues of the city in a positive and uplifting fashion. We send out prayers all across this world where the need is high in areas of Israel and other places. We pray for your grace and mercy. May it be led by you and only you. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen.
Mr. Clerk, could we please have the roll call?
Yes, sir. Councilmember Abbott.
Present.
Councilmember Clark. Councilmember Moore.
Top of the morning.
Top of the morning. Councilmember Smitherman. Good morning. Good morning. Councilmember Tate. Good morning. Good morning. Councilmember Williams. Good morning. Good morning. Councilmember Woods. Good morning. Good morning. Council President Pro Tem Alexander.
Present. Good morning.
Council President O'Quinn.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The minutes of the November 21st, 2023 through April 2nd, 2024 are not ready. At this time, we'll have communications from the mayor's office.
Good morning, Mr. President. Good morning to Madam Pro Tem, to members of the council, and good morning to members of the public, all those under the sound of my voice. I have a few brief announcements on the mayor's behalf and then one presentation. The University of Alabama at Birmingham's O'Neill Comprehensive Cancer Center has partnered with the city of Birmingham to host the first ever Birmingham Regional Wellness Week, a day of holistic wellness for residents of Central Alabama on Saturday, April the 20th. Attendees will have the opportunity to receive health awareness information, interact with professionals from healthcare and community-based organizations, and participate in group workouts. There will also be opportunities for participation in clinical research and numerous giveaways throughout the event. Biometric screening participants will receive a voucher for the Live Health Smart Alabama Mobile Market, where fresh produce and selection of pantry staples, proteins, and dairy will be available. The event is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Birmingham Crossplex, located at 2340 Crossplex Boulevard. And to register, we encourage everyone to visit go.uab.edu/RWDay1. We also encourage everyone to join the Negro Southern League Museum on Saturday, April 13th for Jackie Robinson Day. The event is from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and is a family-friendly celebration of Jackie Robinson's MLB debut as the first baseman for the Brooklyn Dodgers on April 15, 1947. For details, everyone can go to birminghamnslm.org. Again, that's birminghamnslm.org. Mr. President, Madam Pro Tem, members of the council, to the public, the city of Birmingham's Poet Laureate, Salem Green, will host a public reading of her new chapbook, of her new book, Once Upon a Magic City, in honor of April's Poetry Month. The free event will take place at 5:30 p.m. on Thursday, April the 18th, at the Birmingham Public Library, located at 2100 Park Place. We'll be seeing them in just a second. Attendees will receive a complimentary special edition of the book, which will include journal prompts. Local visual artist Michael Briggs was commissioned to design the book's cover. An unveiling of the cover will take place on that evening as well. Free posters are also available. For more info, go to birminghamal.gov/poet. As a reminder, all single-family residents are now under the same uniform cart system. Businesses located on residential waste routes needing up to 2 carts and multifamily dwelling units of 4 or fewer may apply for carts at a fee per cart. Any business needing more than 2 carts or any apartments or multifamily dwellings needing more than 4 carts will no longer be serviced by the city of Birmingham. The Department of Public Works has been addressing issues on a case-by-case basis for residents that live on difficult terrain. Again, for more information, please go to www.birminghamal.gov/pickup. The city of Birmingham will continue to keep residents informed about bulk trash pickups with daily updates online at birminghamal.gov/bulk trash. Now, finally, Mr. President, Madam Pro Tem, members of the council, I will ask Birmingham Public Library Director, Ms. Janine Langston, as well as members of the library staff to please join me at the podium for a proclamation regarding National Library Week. Mr. President, members of the council, libraries provide the opportunity for Birmingham residents to connect with each other, learn new skills, and pursue their passions no matter where they are on life's journey. This is why we would like to take this time to honor our libraries, our librarians, and our library staff during National Library Week with a proclamation that I will read in part. It says, whereas libraries are treasured institutions that preserve our collective heritage and knowledge, safeguarding both physical and digital resources for present and future generations. And whereas libraries are an essential public good and fundamental institutions in democratic societies working to improve society, protect the right to education and literacy, and promote the free exchange of information and ideas for all. Whereas libraries, librarians, and library workers are joining library supporters and advocates across the nation to celebrate National Library Week. Now, therefore, I, Randall Woodfin, Mayor of the City of Birmingham, Alabama, do hereby proclaim April 7th through 13th, 2024 as National Library Week in the City of Birmingham. We recognize the dedicated service of the Birmingham Public Library in transforming lives and communities through education and lifelong learning. We encourage all of our residents to please visit their Birmingham Public Library this week and celebrate the adventures and opportunities that unlock for us every day. And we'll bring Ms. Janine up at this time to share a few words. Ms. Janine.
Thank you, Chief. I appreciate it. Mayor Woodfin is not here, but Chief Sparks in his place. President O'Quinn, President Pro Tem Alexander, councilors, and guests. Good morning, and thank you so much for recognizing National Library Week 2024. Today is a special day because it is National Library Workers Day, and I want to recognize and celebrate the phenomenal BPL team, which are a few here with me, along with 2 of our board members, Ms. Yolanda Hardy and Ms. Lynn Flowers-Martin. It's a great team to work with, and I greatly appreciate it every day. The Birmingham Public Library has been serving the city of Birmingham for 138 years, and we take pride in our ability to adapt to the ever-changing needs of our community by continually expanding our collections, our services, and our partnerships. Along with our proclamation, I would like to encourage everyone to visit a Birmingham Public Library today, and you may do that through walking into any of our physical doors or visiting us virtually. I would also like to remind everyone that BPL, along with our Friends Foundation, will be hosting the 3rd annual A Novel Tasting this Thursday, April the 11th, from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at the Central Library. Tickets are still available and may be purchased by visiting us online at cobpl.org. cobpl.org. Proceeds from the events will support programming at all of our BPL locations. We are honored to be here today, and thank you for this proclamation. Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Comments? Council Pro Tem Alexander.
Well, thank you very much. I'm always excited when it's Library Week. Having been a trustee of the Birmingham Library Board, it was always an honor to represent and to just want to make everyone aware of what a wonderful place the library can be. I know when I was a child, the first time after I got a driver's license, my first ride along was to the Bessemer Public Library, and so it just continued over that. It was always a refuge for me. It was a place during the summertime, where you could go and read books, and I just wish children would take that up now, and adults as well. But I think I looked up and it said the slogan is Ready, Set, Library. And so we just think of all the wonderful things we can do. I see so many familiar faces, former Powderly Library branch manager and board members and just people that I work with there. So I'm just so excited for you all and for what you do for our communities. So thank you very much for honoring them with this recognition. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Clark.
Thank you. I just want to congratulate you all and salute you on Library Week. Just hearing you talk brought to mind two of my friends who I know are friends of the library, Bonner Wagnon and Chervis Isom. So I wanted to say their names today because I miss them. And thinking about libraries makes me think of them. You, as Pro Tem Alexander said, the library system is a great city asset. We value all of you and the work that you do to keep our libraries going. I know the buildings get a little, the condition of the buildings suffer and the budget, gets a little wonky, but we appreciate you for keeping things going because they are great community and cultural assets for our city. And the archives is just one of my favorite things of all. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Councilor Moore.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, I was going to say, look, I love everybody at the library. I appreciate y'all so much. From the cool events that you all have, really trying to engage the community to get them to come to the library to see that it's more than just books. And I just really think that's beautiful. I even got a chance to go out to East Lake Park, was out there feeding the ducks. And the bookmobile pulled up, and there was a family that was able to get on and, check out books and all kinds of stuff. And they were like, man, this is so cool. Like, I didn't even know that we had this here. And so I just applaud you all for all the great things that you all do in our city, because you really, to some people, may be a gateway to learning for a lot of folks. I know it was a librarian that introduced me to Fred Hampton. I didn't know who that was until, a librarian shared with me, this gentleman who served as a Black Panther, chairman in Chicago, right? And it led me down this rabbit hole of learning. I think I kept eyes on the prize a little bit longer than I should have. But all that to say, thank you. Thank you.
Councilor Smitherman.
So if anybody knows me other than Mayor Wood fan, I always have a book in my hand. I'm always reading. And that love of reading came from the library. I remember specifically being 3 or 4 years old. We used to live off of Centerway Southwest. That's a nice little walk, y'all. And so because I had so much energy, my mom would be like, let's walk to the library. And so we would walk to the library. So I had my little books, and so I would turn them in. And I not only had love for reading, but I learned responsibility that comes when you check out books, how to take care of things. I really, really appreciate y'all for what you do. I think there are certain parts of community that are kind of the pillars of it. I think the library is one of those. And so I really appreciate you all, because I see even in my libraries, people applying for jobs there. You guys are pivotal during COVID when kids need to do their homework. I've really been impressed with the things you've done in my library, from helping senior citizens, tax preparation. You guys have done a lot of things with the library. So anything you guys need, I know the 9 of us are here. Well, 10 of us, Mayor Wolfen isn't here, can do to support you. We're here. And we want you to know that your work does not go unnoticed. And so I just want to thank you, and I hope you guys have a good library week.
Council Woods?
Thank you, Mr. President. Did want to also just show some appreciation for all of you. See some definitely some familiar faces out there, but anytime I get a chance to speak to the library, or talk about the library, I always got to shout out the Springville Road Northeast Library. They do a great job over there. My daughter thinks she has a part-time job because they let her help put the books back up. So, but there's always so much going on. I think the programming has been amazing. I think it's one of the things we asked for was like, how can we ramp up the programming? And y'all have definitely gotten creative. I know one day y'all turned the whole multi-purpose room into like a roadway, like taping roads all over the place, and actually made buildings and let all the 4- and 7-year-olds go all over the place with their toy cars and stuff. And so just appreciate the creativity and the programming, and y'all keep it up.
Councilor Tate?
Thank you, Mr. President, Ms. Janine, and all of you great librarians. I had a chance to go to North Birmingham yesterday because I grew up in North Birmingham. Had an opportunity to talk to the librarian yesterday. They're doing some great things over there. And we gifted them, gave them some discretionary money. So I gave all of my libraries some discretionary money, and then we're going to be... So we talked about some things, how we can enhance the library. They got some exercising going over there for the seniors and some good programming that she has some great ideas for, and gonna keep supporting her. So thank you all for all you do. I do see Judge Sheree Grant and Judge Owen's mother out in the audience. So 2 of my favorite judges. So thank you all for all the work that you do. And anyway, as Councilor Smithman has already alluded, anyway, we can help enhance, the library. Love the bookmobiles. I remember growing up and they would travel through the community. So we would definitely be a part of that. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say my appreciation to you guys too, especially of late. Being a librarian has had certain occupational hazards that previously weren't part of the job. So we recognize that and appreciate you guys and, staying behind you. I also just want to take this opportunity to encourage, our community that librarians are like gurus of knowledge. They're like oracles to, to things you can't even, you didn't even know were out there. And I promise you, if you spend 15 minutes exploring what our library system offers, you will be blown away. Any, new endeavor whether you're starting a business or you have a home repair project or you want to get into 3D printing, I mean, you just name it, just anything, that adventure probably ought to start at the library. And let me put it simple. They often say if you want people to pay attention, you tell them about how it hits them in the pocketbook. The library can save you a tremendous amount of money. So for that reason alone, it's a good reason to just take a little bit of time and explore the resources that the library has to offer. So thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind words and for your support.
Councilor Abbott.
I couldn't sit here and be quiet. I'm the senior member of the council, so I remember when libraries only had books. And look how far we've come. Now, I've never in my life seen censorship before, and now I've seen that too. So, but the libraries, my mother used to take the three of us to the library every time she possibly could, probably because we were driving her crazy. But, you know, we spent a lot of time at the library. And I think that the Birmingham Public Library, when I was working on my master's degree at the late Birmingham Southern, I spent hours and hours and hours in the downtown library. And it just, you know, it does something to you. You walk into that library and you just feel like you're home. And so I want to thank all of you for what you do, because everybody at the library is so helpful. You know, they almost follow you around so they can help you. And that's a good thing. You know, it's a good thing to go somewhere where somebody cares that you're there and wants you to stick around maybe. So I just want to thank you for all that you do. My husband even drove a bookmobile. And that was a long time ago, and we still have bookmobiles, right? So good. But thank you for all you do. It's appreciated, even if some people in higher levels of government don't appreciate it, we do. So thank you.
Councilor Clark?
I just wanted to say one more thing about the value that President O'Quinn brought up. I just got back from a yoga and wellness retreat north of Los Angeles. I met my sister there. It cost a lot of money, but I know that, you know, stress is a killer. We've got people who are highly agitated and showing signs of maybe needing to attend the chair yoga class that you all offer. And then I've also noticed that there's a class called Stop, Drop, and Breathe. And I've been wanting to attend just to see what it is, but just offering things that are so responsive and helpful. And I'm just encouraging people to take advantage of classes like that help you regulate stress and emotional distress, just so that we can live longer and feel better throughout the day. So thank you for that. I'm still curious and planning to come, so thank you. And it's free.
Birmingham Public Library is free. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. President. That concludes the mayor's report.
All right. Thank you. At this time, I'll read our statement on conduct of business. All items designated as consent are routine and non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. All items on the consent agenda will be announced by reading the item numbers only. No separate discussion of these items will be permitted unless a council member or the mayor requests the item be removed from the consent agenda. Additionally, a citizen interested in addressing the council with respect to an item on the consent agenda designated for public hearing may request the item be removed from the consent agenda to hold the hearing on the item. Any items removed from the consent agenda will revert to its normal place on the agenda order of business. For remaining matters, all matters of permanent operation will be read and all public hearings will be announced. Mr. Clerk, can we read over the consent agenda, please?
Yes, sir. The consent agenda starts on page 2 with item 1, and then skip over to page 4. We have item 2 on consent. Page 5, we have items 3, 4, and 5 on consent. Page 6, items 6, 7, and 8 are on consent. Page 7, we have items 9, 10, and 12 on consent. Page 8, items 13 and 14 are on consent. Page 9, items 15, 16, and 17 are on consent. Page 10, items 18, 19, 20, and 21 are on consent. Page 11, we conclude with items 22, 23, 24, and 25.
All right. Do any members of the council wish to add or remove an item from the consent agenda? Councilor Tate.
I want to remove 17.
17, page 9. would like to remove number 14 on page 8. Others? Seeing none?
Just wanted to give Valerie a shout out for item 18.
Right.
I noticed that.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know that we have public hearing items on the agenda. Yes, one, item number 1. Do any members of the public wish to remove one of the public hearing items or the public hearing item from the consent agenda? Seeing none, do we have a motion on the consent agenda?
I move approval.
Second.
Ms. Clark, I believe we're ready for the vote.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Okay,
All right. Consent agenda passes. First item, Mr.
all
Clark.
right, 1 second. First item, looks like. Number 11, yes, item 11, it's on page 7. An ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a contract for sale of real estate between the city of Birmingham and Riddell LLC for the property located at 4330 Florence Street and 4305 Etowah Street, Birmingham, for the appraised value of $290,000. And this is an item of permanent operation, so of course we need UC to approve it today. Okay, so we need Councilor Abbott
Aye.
for UC, Councilor Clark. Councilor Moore. Councilor Smitherman. Councilor Tate. Councilor Williams. Councilmember Woods. Council President Pro Tem Alexander. Council President O'Quinn.
Aye.
All right, motion on the item, please.
Second.
All right, item is before you.
All right. Is there any discussion? Councilor Clark.
Thank you. I'm just curious, when did this come before economic development? Just recently? Last week? Okay, yeah, okay, that's it.
All right.
That's it.
I believe we're ready for the vote.
Okay. Give me 1 second here. 11. Come on. Okay, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right. Looks like we're going to item 14, which is on page 8. A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an emergency contract with Hydro Services Incorporated to provide a dewatering pump at Mercer Airport Highway in accordance with the emergency provisions of Section 41-16-53 Code of Alabama. The circumstances giving rise to the need for emergency repairs are likely to cause harm to an individual if flooding is allowed to continue to accumulate at Mercer Airport Highway, and repairs are necessary without undue delay to mitigate any potential harm. The total rate the city shall pay shall not exceed $65,930 under the terms of the agreement. 3 price quotations or price estimates were obtained, and Hydro Services Incorporated was the lowest price. Motion, please.
Second.
Item is before you.
So, yes, I had some questions about this. First, I want to say thank you to the administration for taking action to get Airport Highway reopened. I assume it's going to be reopened, that those concrete barricades are going to be removed once the pump is in place? Potentially. Okay. All right. And then I noticed that this pump is mounted on a trailer. So I just had questions about, how we're going to secure the pump. And you know, the water accumulates pretty much on a daily basis even when it's not, hasn't rained recently. Attorney King?
Yes, so I recommend we go into executive session to discuss potential litigation under Alabama State Code 3625A7.
Motion for executive session.
Okay,
All in favor?
Councilmember Abbott,
Aye.
Councilmember Clark. Councilmember Moore. Councilmember Smitherman. Councilmember Tate. Councilmember Williams. I'm sorry. Okay, Councilmember Woods. Councilmember Woods. Council Pro Tem Alexander. Council President O'Quinn. The call of the chair.
All right, Mr. Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Abbott,
Present.
Councilmember Clark. Councilmember Moore. Councilmember Smitherman.
Here.
Councilmember Tate. Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Woods. President Pro Tem Alexander. Councilmember O'Quinn, Council President O'Quinn.
Present. Thank you. We'll now reconvene the meeting. We have item 14 up for consideration. I think we're ready for the vote.
Okay, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
That item passes. Next item,
Should
please.
be item 17. I think that's on page 9. A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents necessary for the city to make application, receive and expend grant funding from the U.S. Department of Justice, Law Enforcement Mental Health and Wellness Act, implementation project grant in the amount of $200,000 to improve mental health and wellness services for law enforcement officers, dispatchers, and other interdepartmental personnel that experience trauma with no matching funds due from the city. Motion, please.
Second.
All right, item is before you.
Questions? Councilor Tate.
Yeah, Mr. President, the only reason I pulled it off consent is because I want to thank the administration for making application to the DOJ for this grant, because mental health and wellness is very important with law enforcement. So thank the administration and the chief for, making application for this grant for our law enforcement personnel and dispatchers to receive the mental health counseling and the wellness treatment that they need. Thank you.
Councilor Smitherman.
Thank you. I guess I'll just ask you all some of the same questions I asked yesterday at Budget and Finance. With the grant, how many hours of, can you kind of tell us what this would entail? I know you said counseling, but how would this help the officers?
Good morning. Adrian Stitt, I serve as the director of the director of the grants division. Sorry. Yes, the grant will cover counseling services. We'll contract out, so we don't know who we will obtain for the contracting services, but it will be counseling for stress, mental health, nutrition, financial management, all things that our officers and staff need at BPD.
Okay, good. I only ask that because, that it's just easier sometimes to tell the public just a little snippet of what the description is, because I want to make sure what this is going to entail. But I definitely agree with Councilor Tate. Our police officers go through so much, and I don't think they get a lot of the relief that they need. And so I'm happy to hear that for their nutrition, because when you have good, healthy eating, you have more of an endurance. Your mind is better, so you can do your job, and just really being able to talk to somebody. So I know that was some of the things, the last couple of years, I think a few of us have talked to Mayor Woodfin about. So I'm happy to see that we're applying for this grant, and fingers crossed that we get it this year. Thank you.
Pro Tem Alexander.
Yes, thank you very much. Yesterday we gave us a lot of good information about this. I thank you, Councilor Tate, for bringing this off consent so that the public can understand what we're trying to do and provide for our officers. And we know mental health is, of course, very important to each of us. I do want to take this opportunity, though, to thank you in the grants division at NCRC and the Just Economy meeting this past week in DC. There was a lot of discussion about the grant writing and the grant submission made by the city of Birmingham. So I just want to give you all your accolades for going out there and being creative with the process of going after these grants and the much success that we're having. So thank you, and I think that is based on the way those grants are written and they're submitted, and the networking that's being done to make us people aware of what we're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Clark.
I just had a question on the programmatic side. Like, would we just make people aware that these services are available, or will they be required to access them routinely, or is it, going to be under certain circumstances that something would trigger? Like, I know we all have like EAP and stuff like that, but most people don't really think about. I mean, I don't know many people who think about it or use, like even any city employee has access to counseling services through the Employee Assistance Program. And nobody but Carmen Mays, I know, uses it.
Yeah,
or
I don't
talks
think
about
we
using
can
it.
make it a requirement, but that service will be there, and it will be, marketed by the chief. They'll monitor, and I guess they'll make recommendations on who should attend, and let them know that it's there. But you can't require.
You can't
them to
require
Chief Mitchell?
participation.
talking to someone.
So, Councilor Clark, yeah, we can't require employees to get into what will be like an EAP, as you noted, but this will be specifically geared to our public safety because different measures that they deal with versus somebody else in another department,
Yeah.
i.e. be finance or any other department. It's more specialized to our public safety personnel. So it's an opt-in service, just like EAP, Employee Assistance Program. So that's the reason why we want to go after this grant, because it's really geared towards the public safety and that mental awareness and mental health that they need.
Yeah, and I appreciate that we're doing this, and I feel like, police officers or law enforcement personnel see everybody at their worst. It's what they do for a living. They show up in our worst times. And so, they may not know they need to talk to someone. That's why I was just kind of wondering how it would be promoted, so that, and that you don't have to be crazy to talk to somebody. Yeah.
Any other, yep, Councilor Smith?
Councilor Clark, I will say, so the Alabama State Bar a couple of years ago, our president made an effort to have free counseling for attorneys. It wasn't but so many hours. And so attorneys as well are always, and I'm sure Attorney King knows that, we're always taking on other people's problems, and a lot of times we don't have anybody to talk to. And they found a significant number of attorneys taking advantage of those free counseling hours. So this almost seems like something similar. So I have hope that our police officers will eventually catch on and get the free counseling. But it's literally something very similar, yeah.
All right. I believe we're ready for the vote.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Okay.
Next item, Mr. Clerk, please.
Should be item 26. A resolution setting a public hearing May the 7th, 2024, to consider the adoption of an ordinance amending ordinance number 15-133 as amended. The existing zoning regulations in Title I, Chapter 5, off-street parking and loading regulations, case number ZAC 2023-4. Motion, please.
So moved.
Who's second?
Council Tate.
Okay.
Second.
Item is before you.
This is the right-size parking zoning. This is our zoning changes for right-size parking. Right, and we moved it out of committee of the whole, so now they're setting a public hearing for that. Yep.
All right, ready?
Yep.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay.
All right, that item passes.
That should be it.
Brings us to our announcements. Councilor Clark.
Thank you, Mr. President. District 8 announcements for this week. Neighborhood meetings. Bellevue Heights neighborhood will meet today at 6:30 at Brown Elementary School. And the Central Park Neighborhood Association will meet this Thursday at 6 p.m. at the 5 Points West Regional Library. The city's Planning, Engineering, and Permits Department is hosting community engagement sessions to review the city's proposed regulations on short-term rentals. If you have a short-term rental, want to have a short-term rental, or live in a neighborhood where short-term rentals are popular, this is your chance to be heard. The first meeting is this evening at the Birmingham Crossplex, and the second meeting is on April 18th at the Shields Conference Center, and both meetings start at 6 p.m. And I thank Councilor Tate for sharing an article. Right now, Alabama doesn't have a law that specifically deals with squatters. Under a bill that recently passed the Alabama House of Representatives, a homeowner wouldn't need an attorney. They would give notice to the squatter, sign an affidavit with the district attorney or law enforcement, and then law enforcement could remove the individual within 24 hours. The work is not over yet as the bill heads to the Alabama Senate, where it is expected to receive bipartisan support. And this is welcomed progress because we have so many vacant structures in our neighborhoods that sometimes become occupied illegally. So on the arts and culture side, if you want something to do Saturday, you can join the Birmingham Museum of Art for Poetry at the Museum. It's co-hosted by the Magic City Poetry Festival and sponsored by the Alabama State Council on the Arts. You can celebrate the convergence of poetry and visual art as local talents Lauren Slaughter, Kanu Julian, and Miriam Kalajas Shaw offer a unique tour sharing their verses inspired by the museum's collection. There are 3 tour times at 1, 2, and 3. This event is free and open to all who wish to see the museum through the eyes of poets. You can also join the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute as they commemorate the 61st anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s letter from a Birmingham jail. That takes place on April 12th at 10 a.m. There's 2 ways to participate. You can read the words or just take in the words from the audience. And the readers will include officials from the City of Birmingham, the Birmingham Public Library, Birmingham Fire and Rescue, and Civil Rights Foot Soldiers. And as always, if you're looking for a fun way to get to know your neighbors and get a few steps in, you can join us on Thursdays at 8 a.m. We meet at the Crossplex Starbucks to just walk around the complex. Again, that's Thursdays at 8, weather permitting. That concludes my remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Like Councilor Clark stated, PEP will be hosting those 2 community engagement sessions around short-term rentals. I know that I've received several phone calls from folks on both sides, those who, are huge supporters of short-term rentals as well as those who, would like to see something different done with them. And so this is your opportunity to come out, learn more, and to share more. And so tonight at 6 p.m., at the Crossplex, Birmingham Crossplex, as well as Thursday, April 18th, 6 p.m. at the Shields Conference Center. Wanted to give a big shout out to Bethel Baptist Church as well for giving me the opportunity to share greetings. They celebrated 120 years. 120 years, that's a big deal. To have a church that's been around that long, have that much history and that much impact to our city. And so want to, just say thank you again to Pastor Wilder and his congregation for allowing me to come out and spend time with them, as well as Commissioner Scales and Doug Jones. So we will be hosting a cleanup. D4 will be hosting a cleanup this Saturday at East Lake Park at 9 a.m. So if you are free, if you want to come out and help us clean up our park, we would greatly appreciate it. I also want to just say thank you to Ms. Shanae Bennett, or Director Shanae Bennett, and her staff. They recently replaced the lights out there at East Lake Park, and so now it's no longer pitch black dark out there, right? Like, you can go out there and walk and not be in fear of not being able to see where you're going or possibly falling in the lake or something crazy. You can actually see where you're going. So kudos to them and thank you for the work that they're doing. We have a couple of neighborhood association meetings that are taking place. Kilo Springs will be meeting at 6 p.m. at Smith Middle School. Northeast Lake will be meeting at 6 p.m. at the Southern Museum of Flight. Penfield Park will be meeting at this Tuesday as well at 6 p.m. at Brownsville Heights Community Center. We also have the Community Development Committee that will be in the council chambers at 2 p.m. on April the 17th, as well as the Park and Rec Board will have their meeting at Legion Field at 9 a.m. On April the 17th. Two more things. The Realtist Week. This week is actually Realtist Week, so April 8th through the 14th. The Birmingham Realtist Group with Mr. Justin Williams, they have a couple of different events that are taking place. So the State of Housing in Black America luncheon will be taking place today. They also will have Birmingham Developments Tour, annual scholarships, golf tournament day that will take place on Thursday. Several different events that are happening. So if you would like to learn more about them, please follow them on Birmingham Realtist, Birmingham Realtist on Instagram. The Woodlawn Street Market will take place April the 20th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. In the Woodlawn Commercial District on 55th Place. So if you want to come out and support different vendors, get some good food, some good drinks, please make sure that you're in attendance. And last but not least, I want to say thank you to the mayor's staff for the traffic light on Treadwell. We had a lot of people to reach out to us and say, you know, we are appreciative and thankful because now we have a traffic light that can protect us from having to deal with any oncoming traffic that, you know, could potentially become dangerous. And so just want to say thank y'all for helping us to get that traffic light put up over there. And that will conclude my announcements. Yes, that will conclude my announcements.
Thank you. Councilor Abbott.
Thank you, Mr. President. The next Planning and Zoning meeting was scheduled for tomorrow, the 10th of April, but it is canceled. We have 2 vacancies on the Birmingham Planning Commission, so if anyone knows anyone who would be interested in those positions, please let us know. And anyone who's listening to this meeting, you can send your application and a letter of interest to valerie.abbott@birminghamal.gov. The deadline for submissions will be Monday, April 29th. Neighborhood Association meetings, we have several tonight. There is the Highland Park neighborhood meeting at 6 o'clock. East Avondale neighborhood meets also at 6 o'clock. And at 6:30, Forest Park, South Avondale meets. But this is a meeting that was supposed to be held last week, but due to weather, they moved it to this week. If you have any concerns or issues, we encourage folks to call 311 and report them. But even better than that is the My BHAM 311 app, where you can attach photographs so that no one can say they couldn't find it. We also ask all residents of District 3 to go to our website for real-time updates and additional information on things happening in Birmingham, and that is www.bhamdistrict3, and that's the number 3.com. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Councilor Smithman.
Thank you, Mr. President. The next Budget and Finance meeting will be April 22nd at 3:30. Submissions are due April 17th by noon. As far as neighborhood meetings, we have the South Titusville neighborhood. We'll meet today at 5:30 at Holy Family High School, located at 1832 Centerway South, Birmingham, Alabama, 35205. And then the Arlington West End neighborhood will meet today at 6 p.m. at the West End Library. This Saturday, if you don't have anything to do, we will be hosting a health fair. This is Dr. Celeste Willis's health fair, and we're also partnering with Park and Recs. It's called a Lifestyle Reset. It will be this Saturday at Legion Field from 10 to 2. There will be personal trainers on site. So I told the neighborhood yesterday, I think everybody knows I've lost a whole bunch of weight, but the trainer that helped me to lose a lot of that weight and the trainer that helped Dr. Celeste lose a lot of that weight is holding a session. So you guys get to see what we endure 5 days a week. So we'll have line dancing, a healthy cooking demonstration, hula hoop contest, and she is giving away a free treadmill, y'all. I think that's really nice, and maybe a free bike. And then we're giving away free dumbbells as well. So you can RSVP on eventbrite.com, and I really think it's going to be a really amazing event. Also, some great news. The former Golden Flake property, which everyone I think was aware about a year ago, they left and became vacant. It's actually being redeveloped into a warehouse and retail space. The first tenant will be Southeastern Salvage, which is currently located in Irondale. I think Councilor Abbott was telling me she's been there before. So it's like an antique store, which is really cool. So I'm really excited about the revitalization of that property located into Titusville, because a lot of times we have blighted properties that sit still for years and decades. And so to have this be redeveloped in less than a year is amazing. So I'm really excited about that. And for more information, visit our website, www.d6bham.com. And I hope everybody was able to see the eclipse before it started raining. So I had my eclipse sunglasses that my mom got from Southern Research. And so I was able to see. It was really cool. And then I had a Hampton classmate. He was in Dallas. He has a video of the entire eclipse that he was able to get. So I thought that was really cool, especially since we won't be able to see until 2044. Thank you.
And
I'm going to
congratulations.
miss that one. No, you're not.
Yeah, congratulations on the Golden Flake property. It's good to see business relocating into the city of Birmingham, doubling the size of their footprint. So it's great for Titusville. All right, Pro Tem Alexander.
Thank you, Mr. President. These are the announcements for District 7. I would like to bring awareness that we had a death in Roosevelt City that was just impacted all of us. And I would like to offer a resolution of sympathy for the passing of former president of the Roosevelt City Neighborhood Association and deacon at First Baptist Church of Roosevelt, Brother Calvin Elder. If you knew Mr. Elder, you knew that he was just a icon and a beacon of just all civic work, civic engagement there in Roosevelt. One of the things that he championed, and I was going to go back and say, I believe Mr. Elder may have been our first neighborhood president. I'm not sure, but he had passed that torch on a few years ago. But he was very instrumental in getting the fire station placed in Roosevelt City. So it was a great accomplishment. If you ever want to do any community service or go into a leadership role, you went by and you talked to Mr. Elder. And so he was just very passionate about Roosevelt and community service. So at this time, I'd like to ask for unanimous consent for sympathy of resolution in honor of Mr.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you. And now the resolution.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All
Thank
opposed?
you. Thank you very much. These are the neighborhood meetings that we have upcoming in District 7. The Raleigh-Travalic neighborhood will meet this evening at 6 p.m. at the Noble Chapel CME Church. The East Brownsville neighborhood will not meet. They will meet next month. Bulk trash pickup was scheduled today for Oxmoor Valley, so if they haven't come by, you still have time to put that trash and brush out. On Thursday, April 11th, the West Brownsville Neighborhood Association will meet via conference call at 10 a.m. And then the Roosevelt City Neighborhood meets at 6:30 p.m. at the Roosevelt Rec Center on Thursday. Please note this is a new time for the Roosevelt Neighborhood Association. They typically met at 11 o'clock on Thursday, so trying to garner some more participation, they're making that an evening meeting. So they'll be meeting at 6:30. So if you had to work during the day or you couldn't come out and meet, please come out on Thursday. On Monday, bulk trash pickup is scheduled for Raleigh. I do just want to make our residents aware in District 7, we're going to be showering some love on Saturday, April 27th for our annual Love D7 Day. It's in conjunction with Earth Day. It's an opportunity for each of the neighborhoods in District 7 to show some love for their neighborhoods and the area. And so we'll be having a cleanup and a day of community cleanups. And that'll be Saturday, April 27th. Registration will start at the John Jones Valley Middle School at 8:30. Then we'll go out into the community and make the cleanup. And then we're going to come back and have some celebration and just a little fun from 11 to 12 noon. So remember, that's Love D7 Day. Thank you, Mr. President.
Awesome. All right. Councilor Williams, yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Roebuck Springs will be meeting Thursday, April the 11th at 7 o'clock at their usual place, New Beginning Church. Birmingham Stallions' first home game is April 13th at Protective Stadium at 6 o'clock. You can get your tickets at theufl.com. And next Economic Development and Tourism Committee meeting will be on Tuesday, April 16th. Please have submissions to India Bailey by April the 11th. Thank you.
All right. Pro Tem Alexander, you forgot something?
Yes, I forgot. So talking about everything else. The Administration Government Affairs Committee will have our monthly meeting today at 2 p.m. in the council chamber. And if anyone wants to log in or attend, we'll be talking about a legislative update and just see how we're doing down in Montgomery so far. Thank you.
All right. Councilor Tate?
Thank you, Mr. President. These are the announcements for District 9. Sandusky Neighborhood Meeting will be held tonight at 6 p.m. On conference call, you can dial in at 319-527-9642. The North Pratt Neighborhood Meeting will be held tonight at 6 p.m. at New Haven Apartments. That's located at 13 Avenue W, and that's Birmingham 35214. Oak Ridge Neighborhood Meeting will be held Thursday, April the 11th at 4 p.m. That's also on conference call. You can dial in at 952-206-4918, passcode 223418. Hooper City Neighborhood Meeting will be held Thursday, April the 11th at 6 p.m. at the Hooper Center Rec Center located at 3901 4th Street West. The next public safety meeting will be held on Tuesday, April the 23rd at 1 p.m. Please submit agenda items via email by Wednesday, April the 17th, no later than 12 noon to the following recipients. That's patrice.collins@birminghamal.gov, gregory.stanley@birminghamal.gov. Also, on this Saturday, which is my birthday, so much festivities is going on a special day. New Beginnings UMC Church, and that's Pastor John Baldwin. They're having a community yard sale from 8 to 3, and that's located at 2133 32nd Avenue North. So if you live in the historical North Birmingham neighborhood, they're going to have food, fun, $1,000 raffle, 85-inch TV raffle, all for a good cause. So you can also reserve a booth for $50 to sell your personal items, or you can contact the church at 205-328-3937, and if you want to donate gently used items, and they will come and pick it up. And all church sales supports the establishments of New Beginnings UMC Community Center. Finally, Mr. President, I would like to make an announcement also. On the behalf of the Community Violence Intervention Leadership, I want to first thank you for your efforts to create a safer, thriving community free of gun violence. The CVI leadership was found to ensure leaders like you to have access to knowledge and resources necessary to move CVI, a permanent, robust component of the U.S. public safety ecosystem. The University of Chicago School of Leadership Academy, I have been accepted in their second cohort, which is going to be from May through September. So it's University of Chicago and the Harris School of Public Health. So I have been accepted into their cohort, to CVI Leadership Cohort.
Congratulations. Yeah. Council Woods.
Happy. We'll sing it after. We'll sing immediately following the meeting. All right, thank you. Kilo Springs Neighborhood Association will meet tonight at 6 p.m. That is at Smith Middle School. District 1 will be partnering with Rebirth Community Corporation. There's going to be a neighborhood fun day this Sunday, April 14th at 1 p.m. And that address is 700 23rd Avenue Northwest. Again, that's Rebirth Community Corporation. Neighborhood Fun Day. So come on out, bounce house, there's a lot of fun, games, everything for the kids, and just come out and enjoy your community. And then we also want to congratulate Sun Valley Elementary School, Miss Shara Aaron. She was selected as the 2023-2024 Birmingham City Schools Teacher of the Year, and the Alabama State Board of Education District 4. She's in the Sweet 16. So as we are wrapping up March Madness, she's a finalist for the Alabama Teacher of the Year, and so she serves as the Reading Intervention Coordinator and the Stair Site Co-Coordinator. So we want to congratulate Ms. Aaron and thank her for all she does.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. For District 5, East Avondale Neighborhood Association will meet tonight at 6 p.m. via conference call. Please call our office at 205-254-2679 for additional information. Forest Park, South Avondale will be meeting tonight at 6 p.m. at Avondale Library. Please note that their regularly scheduled meeting is for every first Tuesday, but was rescheduled because of inclement weather last week. Smithfield Neighborhood Association will meet Thursday, April 11th at 6 p.m. at Smithfield Court. Chief Mitchell, I hear that the Smithfield Fitness Center is reopening this week. Excellent. They have all the equipment that they need in there? Okay, all right. I know folks will be glad to see that happen. In lieu of our regular scheduled Transportation and Infrastructure Committee meeting, we will host a educational roundtable discussion called Intersection to convene various transportation stakeholders in the community. This is an informal, open forum discussion, again, in lieu of the regularly scheduled Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. This next intersection meeting will be held Monday, April 22nd at 2 p.m. Here in City Hall in conference rooms D and E. The topic of conversation will be freight transportation and logistics. So we'll have representatives from the airport, the ports, the rail companies, trucking companies, all talking about supply chain and infrastructure related to moving stuff around. So really looking forward to that. I want to thank, before we get to our public speakers, I want to thank our officers on duty. As always, we have Cedric Pinkert, who's based here in City Hall, Shaquille Hines from North Precinct, and Wayne Godby from North Precinct. Thank you for being here. Mr. Clerk, at this time, we're ready for our public speakers.
Jerry Margulis.
As you come to the mic, please remember to state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Good morning, councilpersons. My name is Jared Margulis. I am a resident of the Glen Iris neighborhood. My address is 1034 16th Avenue South. Was there anything else?
Nope.
Okay, great. Thanks. Thanks for being here. And thanks for having me. I'm here today because I'm aware that in the past few weeks, Palestinian and allied constituents have spoken to the council, encouraging the council to write and sign a permanent ceasefire resolution as Birmingham City pertaining to the ongoing war in Gaza. I'm speaking here today as a Jewish resident of Glen Iris, and I think it's important to be here to share my thoughts and support for this permanent ceasefire resolution. As a Jewish member of the community in Glen Iris, which is a historically important community for both Lebanese and Palestinian residents, I want to stand in solidarity with them, encouraging you to sign this resolution. And as a person who comes from a people who the modern word genocide was formally codified following the Holocaust, I think there's a Jewish responsibility whenever possible to speak out, condemn, and work to stop genocides everywhere. There's a reason in our community that we say never again, and so I'm here to say that never again is now, and I urge you to pass a permanent ceasefire resolution. What's happening in Gaza is an ongoing genocide. the Israeli government has made clear their intention to make Gaza unlivable while forcing the people of Gaza into an imminent famine. We've all seen the news and the images. And in the same time, they've poisoned the Holy Land with the contaminants of war. Today marks Eid, the festival marking the end of Ramadan. During the holiest month of the Muslim calendar, the people of Gaza have been systematically starved by the Israeli state and starved of justice at the same time. So while our government drops food aid from parachutes, we simultaneously are delivering bombs to Israel made within the United States that are being used to murder Palestinian civilians, commit ecocide against the land of Palestine, the Holy Land, and destroy all basic and critical infrastructure necessary for human life. Gaza has become unlivable by design, and we as Americans and American taxpayers are all complicit in these acts. Today also marks the 76th anniversary of the Deir Yassin massacre, in which at least 110 Palestinian villagers were massacred by Zionist paramilitary organizations in 1948. Groups like the Irgun and the Stern Gang celebrated the wanton murdering and mutilation of largely unarmed Palestinian villagers as an ethnic cleansing of Palestine to make way for a future state of Israel. This massacre was a key moment leading to the Nakba, or what is known as the catastrophe, and the displacement of over 750,000 Palestinians from their homes and land, which goes on to this day, 75 years later. Unambiguously, we should all condemn the horrific violence and killings of unarmed Israeli civilians by Hamas militants on October 7th, as I do. This was a truly terrifying and tragic day for Jews around the world, including myself and my family. And we should not imagine, however, that these same tactics have not been used against the Palestinian people by Zionists in the past, like in the Deir Yassin massacre. This is the cost of profound dehumanization, and for Palestinians, the story of violence and dehumanization goes back over 75 years. My great-grandmother was one of 13 children, all of one of whom else was also murdered by the Nazis in the Holocaust. This is same on other sides of my family as well. I carry the trauma of the Holocaust in my bones like the Palestinians carry the trauma of the Nakba in theirs. I share this personal information to say I don't take the question of genocide lightly or what is happening in Israel and Palestine lightly either. I recognize that this can seem a faraway issue from the concerns of the Birmingham City Council, and I'm sympathetic to this. But it does matter because not only do you have Palestinian and Jewish constituents in your communities, but because we are all complicit in the ongoing genocide that is only possible because of direct U.S. military support and aid to the state of Israel. American tax dollars are being used to buy bombs that are killing Palestinian civilians, making us complicit in these acts. By what logic do we send food aid to Gaza while also still funding the Israeli war machine? We therefore must do all we can to stop this violence and end this genocide. Passing a permanent ceasefire resolution will add to the growing list of calls from across the country, as many, many other cities across the U.S. have already done, to keep the pressure on the current Biden administration to cut off military aid to Israel and end the violence and the intentional starving of Gaza. Words are certainly not enough in moments like these, but we must certainly use them to call out injustices when they are all we have at our disposal. We are complicit and we must act. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for your comments. Appreciate it.
Motion to adjourn.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.